Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Hope you guys are all having a fantastic day. Today's upload is going to be a video on the tropical storm right now, Michael, which will eventually possibly become a hurricane. And this is actually getting pre-recorded on Sunday evening, and this video will be uploaded Monday morning, so hopefully you will adjust to that. I also apologize if you hear anything in the background like thumping on the windows, because that is the rain. The rain is absolutely pounding us here in Chicago. You could see right there a band of rain, and this storm is just huge. I may make a video on it tomorrow, or a couple days in advance tomorrow, or sorry, a couple days after tomorrow. I don't know, maybe on Tuesday, about this huge storm that will be leaving insane amounts of rain. I mean, ridiculous amounts of rain across the parts of the Midwest. And it could be up to 7, 8, 9 inches in anywhere from Iowa, Minnesota, down into Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas. So something to keep an eye on for. If you like these type of videos, if you like this type of weather, if you like my channel, if you're an old returning member, consider subscribing. If you like this channel, if you're a new viewer, this is your first video you're watching, check out my channel, check out my other videos, decide whether you like this. I do some tropical updates during the hurricane season, only when it's right by landfall, like a hurricane or a tropical storm. Not that often, but I do them once in a while, so consider doing so. Thank you for that. So right now, let's get started about Tropical Storm Michael. Tropical Storm Michael right now is way down in by the Yucatan Peninsula, in the Caribbean Sea. You can see right there, 992. I want to show you the date, but at the same time, okay, there it is, 12 Monday, October 8th, 2018. So you can see it quickly gets in stronger intensity, and it actually may become a Category 1. Some models, which I'll show you in just a minute, are showing Category 2, which would be fairly uncalled for at this point, because this thing has jumped from basically not being a threat to being a Category 2 hurricane, possibly hitting Panhandle of Florida. So this is really something we will need to watch. So you can see this makes landfall in the Florida Panhandle around Wednesday evening, Wednesday night, and gets actually caught up with this big storm that has been pounding, absolutely, destroying the Midwest with heavy rain, and that gets caught up within, kind of brings it south up to the northeast, which could produce some more heavy rain up in areas like Maryland, New Jersey, and New York City, and Boston. And we have another tropical storm, actually, or hurricane, making its way from the southwest, from the Pacific Ocean into the southwest, which could bring, again, quite a good dose of rain for the west. And then later on, we see basically the tropical Atlantic quiet down. So right now, let's go. This is where Tropical Storm Michael is. You could see it's at 60 miles per hour. The pressure is 997. It is at where is that? It is moving at 5 miles per hour. In terms of knots, it is around moving 4 knots per hour, so very slow, almost stationary. It is located at 20 degrees north and 85.4 degrees west. We click on it, and you can see this is the projected path. The H stands for hurricane, as noted right here. Hurricane wind speed between 74 and 110 miles per hour. With this storm, I'm fairly sure we will be towards that 74 miles per hour range rather than the 110. However, we could get up into the Category 2 range, but Category 3 is basically out of the it's not completely out of the question, but at this point it definitely doesn't seem likely. So this is where the National Hurricane Center has projected it to track some, and again, this cone is not where the impacts will be extended to. So it's going to track right along here. The impacts are going to be extending from here to here. No, that's not what it means. Basically, what this cone is, this storm could track along this white line or along this white line or anywhere in between, with its impacts extending even farther out depending on where it tracks. So you can see hurricane right by landfall, storm, and that this path that is dotted and not a full shaded of white, that is the path that is, I think, 3 days out, or 3 or more days out. This one's this is only the 3-day forecast. So by 3 days, 7 p.m. Wednesday, again, should be late evening or evening Wednesday, should be making landfall on the Florida Panhandle. So again, this could be a fairly big system. if the trend continues of strengthening as it has been. Let's go to wind speed probabilities quickly. You can see that the wind speeds of, I think this is tropical storm force winds or greater, are fairly almost 90% chance at this point across much of Florida. Not much, the areas where it's gonna happen, the hurricane. And now let's go to the hurricane probability. I think 58 miles or wind speed probability. So that is still technically a tropical storm. You can see a little bit less. So now I would like to show you quickly something with the model intensity guidance. So this is something very interesting I discovered, and you can see right now it is a tropical storm, and this is what we call the spaghetti models in terms of all these models. I mean, look at that. This is one individual model, just like one colored line. So some of them are showing a almost category 4 hurricane, while some of them are showing not even it developing into a category 1 hurricane. So obviously it's going to be most likely in these type of situations, it's usually where the majority wins. So usually you can see it's happening right here. A lot of the models are going up into category 1 and even into category 2. Is that possible? Is that a little bit overdone? It is possible, and I think, in my opinion, it is a little bit overdone, but we definitely could be seeing a category 2 if these models actually come to hold together, and even potentially category 3, but those are only 2 models that are showing that. And staying just a tropical storm, nothing greater. I think there's only 2 models that are showing that, this one and that one, because you can see everything else at least gets to a category 1 and then just drops back down. So you can see this one actually takes, this blue one, UK X2, takes its sweet old time, and this is by 60 hours out, 72 hours out, finally gets into category 1 hurricane and stays there for quite a while. So I don't know what would make this storm so, I don't know why this model is showing it this far out, still being a category 1. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's predicting for it not to make landfall. I don't know, but you can see that this is just very interesting. Again, don't predict or don't make your forecast, don't make your hurricane getaway, your evacuation plans off of this. This is just something, some raw model data that the National Weather Service posts, and you should definitely be listening to your National Hurricane Center, National Weather Service about the potentials with this storm, because they have the best information that they could give you for sure. So let's quickly look at the spaghetti models in terms of the actual track of this storm. So let's quickly find that. You could see Tropical Storm Michael model track guidance. Most of them are making landfall in Florida. Some are a little bit further to the west. Some are a little bit further towards the east. Again, we'll always have this gradient of variance within these models, but we could just definitely safely say that, parts of Florida will most likely get impacted, and maybe potentially Alabama there could be a landfall in Alabama, but at this point we could definitely say that Florida will at least get impacted in some sort of way, but if not a direct landfall. So again, right here, do not use these maps to make decisions. Seek official info. That is very important. That is very important to notify and make clear. So this was just a quick little update I wanted to give you guys on. Hopefully you hopefully have an insight on how more dangerous the situation is. This is definitely something not to be messed around with. Category 2 hurricanes can cause fairly significant, if this gets to category 2, can cause fairly significant damage to your house, to your your property. And with this storm, I'm not sure exactly. I don't think the rainfall will be insane, but you could still see it won't be, I don't think, as nearly bad as Hurricane Florence, but you could see that definitely there will be some I think almost as much as a foot of rain probably in some areas. So, and especially later on once more storms pass by, but just from this storm, possibly up to a foot of rain in some areas. So definitely the most floods caused by most deaths caused by hurricanes are by flood waters. So that is something to keep in mind. And hopefully you enjoyed, even though there's not much to enjoy about this. Hopefully you learned something new. I'll catch you all guys in the next episode.